Hi, my name is Pat, and this is my channel, Book Chat with Pat, and I'm glad that you're here. Today I'm going to be doing my weekly wrap-up for the week ending Saturday, August 9th. My reading this week has been focused around 4 events that I am participating in. First, for the summer of Steinbeck, I have been reading Steinbeck's last novel, The Winter of Our Discontent, written in 1961. In addition to an ongoing Voxer chat that we've been having that's been going all summer long, I am discussing this novel with Alan at Big Hard Books and Classics and an extraordinary commenter and subscriber, Patricia. We've been talking about this novel in an email exchange. We will be finishing this novel over the next couple of days. For me, this has been an absolutely heartbreaking read. This is a novel about one man's downfall in pursuit of money and status, and it is on a larger scale a dream, a novel about the corruption of the American dream. It kind of blows my mind to think that Steinbeck wrote this novel in 1961. This novel that seems so frighteningly familiar and pertinent in our world today. I am also in the T.S. Eliot reading group, where we have spent the first week of August reading and discussing the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. This discussion is taking place in a Discord chat on the channel of my friend Thomas at Art and Lit Matters. This poem, Prufrock, is an early poem of T.S. Eliot, first published in June 1915 in Poetry magazine. It is a dramatic interior monologue of a man who is completely overwhelmed by feelings of estrangement and isolation, and by his inability to take any kind of decisive action. We've been having a great discussion. We're going to be moving on today to The Wasteland, which we will be reading and talking about for about 2 weeks. The Wasteland is considered one of the most important poems of the modernist movement, and certainly one of the most important poems of the 20th century. This complex poem features numerous different narrative voices, all lamenting in different ways their disillusionment and their sense of despair in the modern world. In the Faulkner in August group, we are reading Go Down Moses. This first week of August, we have read the first 2 stories in this collection. Those are the stories entitled Was and The Fire and the Hearth. We're moving on this week to 2 additional stories, Pantaloon in Black and The Old People. These stories in this collection all feature different members of the McCaslin family, the white members of the family and the black members of the family as well. The present tense of the collection takes place in the early 1940s, but many of the stories look back on the history of this family. back to pre-Civil War days. The complete histories of the family emerge throughout the collection of the stories, and it's kind of like a puzzle that you put together little by little as the stories gradually delineate the complicated relationships between slave owners and slaves, and all of their descendants. The stories can be read independently, but read together, they reveal this very complex family history. The family incorporates many important ideas: race and identity, bloodlines and genealogy, inheritance and dispossession, in this family of very mixed bloodlines. I'm also well into my buddy read with Renee at Beyond Books. We're reading together Stephen King's 2008 novel, Duma Key. We're at about the halfway point right now of this 600 plus page big book of the summer. This is the story of Edgar Fremantle, who has lost his right arm in a terrible construction accident that has also left him with a traumatic brain injury. Edgar also loses his marriage in the aftermath of this accident. And so he's attempting to recover physically and emotionally. In this rented house, he's moved from Minnesota to this rented house on Duma Key on the Florida Gulf Coast. He begins to concentrate on painting, first as kind of a form of therapy, but as he gets more and more into painting and his painting becomes more and more compulsive, we begin to see that he is a painter of great talent. He's regarded by other established people in the art world as an American primitive. But it also soon becomes apparent that his paintings also reveal supernatural power and extrasensory knowledge of people and events that Edgar does not consciously know. This is more supernatural fiction or paranormal fiction rather than horror. But that's the kind of Stephen King novel that resonates most deeply with me and where I am most comfortable. Renee and I are sharing our thoughts with each other through email, and we are both enjoying the novel and enjoying our discussion, and we will both have more to say about this book as the month progresses. So that's what I've been reading this week. I've also made 5 videos this week. I did Gareth's at Book Songs and Other Magic. I did his delightful Muppet tag. I responded to Lecton's wonderful philosophy of reading video and talked about my growth as a reader and my philosophy as a reader. I did an announcement video for an upcoming event in September. This is a reading event based on the literature, fiction and nonfiction, of cephalopods. And this event is October in September. I also did a Poetry Thursday video on the poetry of the octopus. And who knew there was so much literature written about cephalopods? And now this weekly wrap up is my 5th video of the week. In the coming week, I will be focusing, in addition to the things that I've just talked about, I'm going to be focusing on 2 other things. I've mentioned that my real life in-person book group is reading this month Jess Walter's newest novel, So Far Gone, and I'm going to be focusing on that in the week to come in preparation for our discussion the following week. And I will also be focusing this week on my meeting with my friend Margaret at Margaret Pinard on August the 15th, where we're going to be discussing Mariann, Edgar, Budde's How We Learn to Be Brave. Decisive moments in life and faith. So we'll be discussing that together in a live stream on Friday, August 15th. And there will be more information about that coming both on my channel and on Margaret's channel. So that's what I've been reading and what I'm going to be focusing on in the week to come. I hope that you're reading great things too, and I'd love to hear about that in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're doing well. I'll speak with you again soon. Take care.